I guess one could get lost by looking at this mirror for too long. It's so dark that I can't see my own reflection. Anyone on the other side? I have a train to catch. Why am I being held here like some kind of sinner? Can someone tell me what this is about? I think I heard someone. I did nothing wrong, and you have no authority over me. Let me go!
Place all your belongings inside the box. Push it back into the wall once you're done. Don't try to deceive us. We'll know. I trust you for now, but at the end of the process, you'll be searched thoroughly. Decisions have consequences in this town, little priest. Now, please step into the light so we can begin. You seem to obey orders, unlike your brother in the other room. Admirable.
He's just a brother-in-law.
So, Benedict. What a strange surname. Donani?
Dochnani.
Whom do you serve, Benedict Dochnani?
I serve only God.
We all do. But you serve him in a different way. Don't you, little priest?
I'm a monk among the ranks of the Pauline Order.
Ah, monkhood. A way of life in solitude and silence with God. Many believers say it's the only way to be near our Maker. What can you tell me about that brother of yours, Nikolai Kali-A-Kin?
He is a deacon.
That's not what he said to us. Are you trying to lie to me? How could he serve God if he's married to your sister?
He abandoned the path to priesthood to marry her. Deacons are allowed to serve in both houses.
After such a horrible past, God had to make it up to him.
What do you mean?
His orphanage days. The mass grave they found at the orphanage.
What?
You must have heard about the witch nun from Minsk.
Vaguely. I was very young back then.
Your brother was there. You saw all those decaying child corpses in the backyard. It's horrible just thinking about it.
I know nothing about him and his past.
I think you're just trying to protect him. It's useless. We'll find out everything we want to eventually.
It's the truth. I barely spoke a word to the man before coming here.
Quite an interesting family.
What time is it, officer?
Time is not relevant in this moment of your life.
I'm under the jurisdiction of the Vatican. You have to let me go.
The church can do nothing for you here. You, like everyone else in this town, answer to me and our patron saint only. Now tell me, what brings the three of you to our little town? It's a long journey from Budapest.
We were invited to attend the exhibition at the castle.
And who invited you?
Nobody invited me. It was my sister who was invited and who made me come along.
You're lying to me. No strangers allowed to get into the castle. Invitations don't exist. Tell me the real reason.
I was dragged here by my sister. What does it matter after all? We never made it there.
Continue obscuring the truth, and you'll end up dragged into Akhrizat for eternity. Nikolai's already doomed. He's a liar and a tyrant. If it wasn't for Mostov, God knows what he could have done to the warden. But you, I feel you're different. You're not like him. We know your sister was at the castle last night. She was seen by multiple witnesses. Tell me everything I need.
Are you sure that was Victoria at the castle? How was that possible? You said strangers are not welcome. Has anyone seen me or Nikolai there? I have to confess that something happened in the house we spent the night in. I don't know what exactly, but it was Victoria. She did this to me. Officer, can you hear me? Let me out! Finally, am I free to leave now?
You both have to come with me. Again.
Why?
Oh, where?
Beyond the wall of crosses. At last, the grandiose Church of Mary. After so many centuries, still here, still holding up against...
What are we doing here?
I'm not at liberty to talk about anything. Now walk. The chief is expecting you.
Do you have any idea why we are here?
No, but I know what this place is. I overheard 2 officers talking at the station.
I heard the detective say this is the Church of Mary.
The officers referred to it as the Heart of Darkness. Said they've never been here until today.
Judging by the architecture, I'd say the church was built in medieval times. I was told Victoria was seen at the castle last night.
They told me the same, and I don't know what to think. Let's not talk about it here.
Ever heard of the witch nun from Minsk?
I see. So they told you about my orphanage days.
Victoria knows you were an orphan?
Please, I don't want to talk about it.
Did they ask you anything about the house?
No, but I suspect they will. The warden is here, inside the churchyard.
I can't believe this is happening to me. Never mind.
Ah, you made it past the wall of crosses. Through tall trees, unmarked paths, and unnatural, dreadful silence. Into the heart of darkness where you invited us to meet.
We invited you?
You have, with your deeds.
I don't understand. What is this place? Why are we here?
This church was built with one purpose only, to repel evil from the Carcassa forest. It failed miserably, and was absorbed by darkness instead.
Chief, we'd appreciate it if you could tell us what's going on.
Words are unnecessary. Light always reveals. Lights on, officer! Now, take a good look.
God! What? Tell us, why are we here?
Lights off! Ranko Merzel, the beloved mayor of Sveti Kotar, hanging up there all alone with a dreaded yellow mask. Underneath the mask, he has nothing left. His face ripped off, his eyes gouged out and eaten. His skull cut open, and parts of his brain eaten. All whilst alive, tortured cruelly by the moon ghouls, or those that want to become one. In the very end, his chest and abdomen were torn and his heart ripped out, to be devoured.
His body is still up there. How could you possibly know all these things?
We don't have to pull him down to know what happened. We've seen this too many times in our lives.
Who are the moon ghouls?
Saborans is their name, servants of the moon demons. Some people believe they're not humans, but rather evil entities that take human form. We don't know who they are. They're hiding in the shadows, impossible to find.
This is a horrific crime scene. We shouldn't be here.
Is this the way you welcome strangers in your town?
We know the mayor was murdered by Nermin, a man who decided to worship the moon deities. The past teaches us we are unable to see the true soul of other people, no matter how close they are to us.
So you interrogate strangers and tell them of the existence of malicious beings, and in the end you show them their prey?
Nermin didn't feast on the mayor's corpse alone. There was someone else who joined the ritual.
The name Nermin doesn't mean anything to us.
We're here for the first time in our lives, Chief. What do you want from us?
Lies. All lies. Where's Victoria? Or should I call her Petra instead?
What do you mean?
We know she used the name Petra when introducing herself around town.
Our mother's name.
We just don't know where she's hiding, and we need you to tell us.
We don't know. When we woke, she wasn't in the house.
It was our plan to go looking for her, but then your men intercepted us.
And you welcomed them by pushing the warden to the ground.
We don't know where she is.
Why do you think she's hiding?
Do not try to make a fool of me. She was seen pushing a man from the castle roof last night, and when we found his severed head, he wore a yellow mask. We know she helped Nermin. Her scratch pad was found up in the belfry amongst pieces of human flesh. If you want us to search for her, fine. Once we find her, she'll face the same fate as Nermin. They'll beg us to end their lives.
Why would she help Nermin, a complete stranger to her?
The Saborans cult needed a witch among them. Morbidity and the occult fascinate her. She's your sister. You should know that.
This is insane. My wife would never do harm to anyone, let alone join a cannibal cult.
Who was the man she allegedly pushed from the roof?
We're still trying to fish his body parts from the chasm below the castle. Whoever he was, he's just one piece of the puzzle.
How can you be so sure of her guilt? What proof do you have?
We found her belongings in the belfry, and her coat in the woods, not so far from here.
Coat? How do you know it's hers?
A coat, badly damaged, with blood stains. Her wallet and personal ID were inside, but we also found something else next to it. An eviscerated fetus.
My sister was pregnant?
She still is. Don't you understand what they're trying to do here?
Victoria sacrificed her unborn child to the moon demons.
No. This is not possible. She would never.
We know she's hiding somewhere, and we know you're lying, which makes you her and Nermin's accomplices. She even tried to make us believe she killed herself after the murders.
An accomplice? I fell asleep the moment we entered that house. I am a man of God. How dare you put such sin on my soul?
I've seen many people say or think they're godly men. That means nothing. Faith is more than mere words.
Why do you think she tried to fake her own death?
There was a suicide note in her coat. Many have taken their own lives in this forest. She thought she could trick us with a message of repentance. Pathetic. You clearly don't have any intention to help us, but we might have means to change your mind.
Chief, do you really think we would be lying? Is my wife really capable of committing such atrocities?
Look around. Can you smell death? Can you sense wickedness? Of course I believe that. This is a cursed land. And I don't know who you are, and I don't trust you. None of you. Take them away. Make them talk.
Gentlemen, you know how this works. Follow me.
Why have we stopped, Detective?
Someone needs to help you out. I'm letting you go.
All of a sudden, you want to help us? Why?
Your sister came here to join a madman? She chose this town to fulfill her occult desires? And you're helping her to hide. That's insane. Maybe she got kidnapped by Nermin and... I don't know. You must find her as quickly as possible.
Chief Noren will be furious with you.
I never lied to him. Or at least it's what he thinks. He won't question my decision to let you leave. But you have to give me your word you won't leave town. We have your passports, but one can always find a way out if he wants to.
We promise.
I wouldn't question a word from two priests.
I promise.
Start your search with the warden.
Dr. Kotar?
I was with him last night before the incident at the castle. He was already looking for Victoria.
Before the incident? Are you sure?
My head injury sometimes makes me have memory lapses, but you don't have to question my intelligence.
I'm sorry, but I knew it. The moment I saw that man, I knew there was something creepy about him.
I don't know how, but he might be somehow connected with her disappearance.
Could he be found at a mental hospital?
Oh no. You can't possibly get to the Marov Asylum. It's off limits for non-staff or non-inmates. The doctor resides at the only lodge in this town, the Goldine Lodge. That's where you should go first.
Where's this lodge located?
From here, go down towards the lake. Once you reach the shore, go left. You can't miss it.
Why did he stay at the house while we were being interrogated?
He wanted to make sure Victoria wasn't there, but to tell you the truth, I think he had other reasons. I'm not sure.
What time is it?
I don't know, but it's getting late and you should act. Immediately.
The train is about to leave soon. Could you give me my belongings back?
That I cannot do. I'm sorry.
We have to go now.
A few words of advice before we part ways. There is a reason why this town looks desolate, even in broad daylight. Don't get yourself fooled by the lights you see here. This soil is cursed, and the air tainted with wickedness. I know you can sense it. It's the opposite of what you're used to. Be wary while wandering around. Under no circumstances you should go into the forest or onto the mountain. They are forbidden. Stick to the town. The moon ghouls are impossible to find, except for when it's too late for oneself. God bless you all. I hope you find salvation in spite of the horror all around you.
We have to split, Benedict. I'm going to the lodge. You should go back to the house, in case Victoria comes back.
I don't know my sister anymore. She became a person I've dreaded my whole life. She's a devil worshipper, a murderer, a person acting against God. Who is she? How could she change so much?
Since when do you trust other people? They are lying, Benedict. Victoria is innocent.
Did she drag me here to sacrifice me? Like she did with her unborn child?
Hey, she did not do that. Our child is not dead. The chief is lying. Before this journey, when was the last time you saw her?
A couple of years ago, I guess.
I see and talk to her every waking hour since we married. People don't change that much. She's a good person.
They don't change. They just strip the facade and show their true self. If they are lying, how do you explain her scratch pad in the belfry?
I don't know.
And what about her coat? Or the fact that she used my mother's name to introduce herself?
We should ask if this is true. The only person she spoke to after arriving here is the lady from the souvenir shop over there.
Don't forget, she was seen pushing a man from the castle's roof by multiple witnesses.
Maybe she was assaulted. We don't know who that man is, and what really happened last night. If we don't succeed in finding her soon, going to the castle is something we should consider. And this is partly on us. If we weren't so weak, we wouldn't have been drowned into a nightmare cycle of dreams. Just look around you. It's already night, for God's sake.
I've noticed. It means we slept for more than half a day.
Even when dead tired, one can never sleep that much. It's unnatural. The house definitely did this. Because we were weak.
It's my fault? It was her idea to make me come here, and she picked that damned house. How do you explain the balcony horror?
You're right. I'm sorry. I don't know how to explain many things. I'm just trying to find a meaning in all this madness. We should move, brother. She might already be back at the house, or in danger at the hands of that warden.
No. I'm leaving.
You what?
I'm leaving. Going back to Budapest.
You won't make it past the border. You don't have your passport.
I'll be fine. Given the circumstances, Father Imre will understand why I didn't talk to the priest of Sveti Kotar.
But he will judge you if you leave your sister here.
I don't care about Victoria and what she got into. God will be her judge.
God will condemn you for leaving your sister to die here. Open your eyes! She's the only real family you have.
My family died the day my father left us.
If you leave, you will pursue your own selfish desires, not his will and words. She was accused wrongly. You need to stay here and help me find her in the name of faith.
You think she might be back at the house?
Could be. It's the only place where she knows we might be. Are you going to help me?
I'm going to the house, and if she's there, I'm leaving at once.
You both wait on me, but stay out of the house and hide somewhere outside. The warden or the police might come back. I have the warden's walking stick. Or at least what's left of it.
How did you get it?
After falling on the ground, amongst all the chaos. He seemed very protective of it. Maybe now I have leverage over him. I'm going to the lodge. Be careful.